Yeah, so we could just start on what voodoo is. So you think it's a purification ritual. What's the analytical justification behind that? Since we're going off definitions within Islam to actually convey something. Now go ahead.
Let me actually.
Yeah, did you hear me, retard?
Okay. Now I'm back now. Okay, sure.
Okay, you're
All right.
back.
I
You're
can hear you
back.
now.
Anyways, I just asked you what's gonna be your analytical criteria and the justification for why that interpretation of voodoo is just gonna be the case and more so prominent, or just add some type of parsimony as to reason why we should accept this more simpler within an
Okay, sure.
interpretation of Islam. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure. So first of all, there are multiple problems with what you asked me. First, your whole question assumes that you already know what stance I'm going to be taking and the second which I'm going to be taking. Secondly, I'm not really arguing for a general stance, I'm arguing for a specification stance. Meaning, in this case, you can't really argue that. You can't really argue based off what you heard me say. What you heard me say to go to analytical value. So I'm just going to ask you: can you rephrase your question? Stop saying and stop using the word analytical every time because I don't think you know what it actually means. The definition of analytical when something can be is when the term or the name of something, or when how something maps onto reality is fits a definition, or in this case, how people say in today's society, when something is true by definition. If I were to just sit right here, and only reason I'm doing it because what you did yesterday, because I were to just sit right here and say, well, historical reliability and linguistic reliability, all you're going to do is just sit right there and cry, and then swear on God that I didn't told you, that I didn't tell you the same definition I'm going to be taking, even though all the audience just sit right here and heard you said via the analytical truth or via analytical what's this or what it be taken. Meaning that I don't need to tell you a fitted definition. You should understand the position I'm taking via your own question based off how I'm going to reply. So I'm going to answer your question. Then I know what you're going to do. You're going to cry that I didn't give you the definition. And then after I get it, then after I debunk that, you ain't going to do nothing but then try to go circle and cry again. So again, I'm going to answer your question. Now, first, now, first, the stance I'm taking over. No, first, the stance I want to be taking is is the position that the Christian faith or Christianity within a general point or within a specification, therefore being linguistic reliability and therefore being historical reliability, the two criteria or the two forms of system that I'm using in order to get a value on which one is more reliable in these two specific categories or categorical analysis. You can say something like that, right? Now, now, Demar, what do you mean by this? Because I gotta say this because they be acting like he dumb, even though I'm pretty sure everyone in here know what I mean by linguistic reliability and historical reliability. But Saber don't know. So let me educate them. Now, when I say historical reliability, Saber, I'm talking about reliability from a historical standpoint. I'm pretty sure you already know what historical means. So I'm going to go ahead and define reliability. Now, my definition of reliability was something to behold as more truthful because again, we make a comparison between Islam and Christianity, meaning that we're going to be debating on which one of these two things can be held as a more trustworthy position with inside of the two categories known as linguistics and known as historical. Now, I define what reliability is for you, and I'm pretty sure you already know what historical and linguistic is, but if you don't, I'll be glad to explain both of these definitions for you. Now, Seba, do you mind stating your position? I don't care to meta debate you. If you want to meta debate, I'm going to start writing. If I start writing and point out fallacies, because I can do it now, because you already been committed like 3 different fallacies, by the way, I can write now. So I'm going to let you know that. Before we move on, I can rant now if I chose to rant. I can turn this whole debate from being about Islam and Christianity to me just ranting and whooping your ass, and you know that. So before I do that, I'm gonna let you know. Do not try to meta debate me. State your position and let's move on. If you try to meta debate me, I am gonna rant. And when I do that, you ain't gonna do shit but cry while I'm beating your ass. So I'm gonna mute my mic now. I'm gonna let you talk. Again, just state your position.
Just like it's kind of funny how you mentioned meta debating because like you're trying to meta debate about what we just said like yesterday. I'm not here to debate that topic. We're talking about what voodoo is per the said chat and the join VCing, right? So that entire thing about that specific debate, redoing it again, it's not even included. So I don't know what you're doing there. Talk about historical reliability or just bringing up Christianity in general because we're just talking about voodoo. What is voodoo? It's literally just within Islam. If we mention Christianity, there's contradictory principles within Christianity. There's contradict Islam. So obviously, that's not a point we can add or conceivability towards that. Anyways, also about what you said about analytical. No, analyticals are not something that could be mapped onto reality. They go in exchange from with our definitions. Hence, like analytical truths, true by definition. They go by definitions. Sure, you could say we can map definitions onto reality. That would just be interpreting or just taking a semantical realist position. So that doesn't really make sense, anyways. You would just be positing analytical truths actually have some form of actualization within like reality, and that that's just correspondence. That's not even like fucking like map out onto like fucking reality or like a analytical truth in general. Because like, oh my gosh, bro, that's not what even analytical means to correspond. That's literally just a correspondence truth, or what we call from observation, etc. Because we can observe that being the case, etc. It's just synthetic due to it being external within reality, etc. That would just be a synthetic fact within reality. So I don't know what you're mentioning there about that as well. But since you just want to talk about another debate, I guess I could just take that as just another concession, not moving on to the main topic. GG. I'll just save the recording then.